Okay, so let's perform manipulation of the hip joint. Andrew, if you just want to steady the front end there. I'm just going to support Ninja underneath with my right hand. With my left hand here, I'm going to gently get hold of the stifle joint, and the motion I'm going to effect is abduction and then extension. And that's all you need to do to test the hip joint here through a range of motion. Abduction and then extension. What I think you should try and avoid is direct extension caudally. So if I was to do this, so pull the limb, the hind limb right behind like this, I think you can start to see that you actually stretch and stress the lower back there. And so rather than pulling the limb all the way back, abduction and then slight extension. You can see there that the lower back barely moves at all. So we're isolating the movement to the hip joint. Now for the stifle joint, putting that through a range of motion here and standing, I actually think is a little bit more tricky. Because I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to want to bring that down on the front of the stifle joint to steady the front. And then with my left hand, I'm going to extend the stifle joint. When you do that, obviously the hind limb lengthens. And so concurrently, you really need to lift the cat off the table a little bit. And all of those maneuvers are sort of difficult to get right all at the same time. But let's try it here with Ninja. So fingers on the front of the stifle joint. My left hand here is going to extend the stifle joint. And you see what I mean? I just had to pull Ninja off the table. That's extension. Flexion, very straightforward. Remembering that the tarsal joint will have to flex the same time as the stifle joint is going to flex. Like that. You see how I'm just pulling Ninja off the table a little bit, because as I extend the stifle, the limb lengthens. And then stifle flexion, very straightforward, just allow that to come up. And I'm using my right hand here over the stifle to feel for crepitus as I put the stifle through a range of motion. So it's kind of three things. I'm just lifting Ninja up here. I've got my fingers on the front of the stifle and using my left hand to manipulate the limb into the different positions. And I know, Ninja's moving around a little bit here, but if you persevere gently, you'll get a good impression of whether or not this particular manipulation is comfortable or is associated with discomfort, as would be demonstrated by an aversive reaction.